This Pac-12 Part 1 Conference Preview Edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Circa Sports. Circa Sports is back with their Circa Survivor and Circa Millions contest. $14 million up for grabs. Get all the details over at circasports.com.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking that money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Hey, we're out west in the Pac-12.
We're out west here in Los Angeles, miles away from the Rose Bowl in our beautiful SGPN recording studio here with Colby Dant, as always, talking Pac-12 football. What's happening, Pac-12 Dundee?
Well, we're more available than the Pac-12 network, so things are going good in our lives, right?
That is true. We are easier to find than the Pac-12 network. Shout out to Comcast Cable for blocking us from the Pac-12 network.
Spectrum. Please
it's Comcast.
Don't mislabel these shitty cable companies.
We're
a customer. We are a customer.
I tried to buy the Pac-12 network off of Comcast. They said no dice. I said, I want to pay you for the Pac-12 network. They said, sorry, your cable system is at a business, and Pac-12 isn't available for business. I'm like, you can't turn the channel on.
Larry
Can you
Scott,
switch us to residential?
That's a nice departing gift. Remember the old Pac-12 commissioner Larry Scott was spending what 50 G's a night in a room in Vegas, getting the suite, getting I'm still waiting on that, guys. Can we do that when we go out to?
We need the Larry Scott deal.
I think Larry Scott was hiring some of the other proxies to just continue on our
Ryan
proxy
has a sweet running through line here of the proxy service, which again, hopefully you guys are headed out to Circa Sports at some point this summer, so you can sign up for the Circa Millions, $6 million up for grabs, and Circa Survivor, $8 million up for grabs. Love our good buddies over at Circa Sports. You've heard Derek come on here all the time. He is he's a great dude, good guy to hang out with. The contests are super fun. Optimistic we are going to win, Ryan. I have a visual of us holding the giant check, but we're walking the giant check to the cashier cage to cash it so we can get some sweet chips and lay down on some sweet action.
That would be excellent content.
It would be a great visual. But again, the contests are great. You do need to sign up in Vegas, but you don't need to live in Nevada to play. You can play anywhere. Basically, all you do is hire a proxy. If you have questions, we can help you out with that. But again, go to circasports.com. Again, sign up in Vegas, play from anywhere. And if you're thinking of a weekend, last weekend in August, Kramer and I will be out there doing a bunch of shows. So come out there, hang out with us, sign up for the contest, get drunk, and get excited for football. We got a great. We're right smack dab in our college football conference previews. SEC East, SEC West already have dropped on the feed. Again, subscribe, tell a friend. This is a perfect time to get your friends in on SGPN, in on the Sports Gambling Podcast. Turn down those auto downloads so you don't miss all the great football content we got coming up. This is part 1 of our Pac-12 conference preview. We had to split it up into 2 parts. 1, there's 12 teams. 2, we also we have a special guest for part 2. So a lot to go on here, Ryan. A lot going on.
After 2 episodes of rambling for too long about football, we stopped fighting nature, and it's like
well, even SEC East, I think, was an hour and a half. It was like 10, 20 minutes about Vanderbilt.
It was not an hour and a half.
I was excited. I'm still excited.
I like this swing to the academic schools. Let's do an hour on Stanford, right?
Well, and let's pull back.
Stanford is interesting. We will be talking Stanford here.
I want everyone to know the reason we The reason we are doing the conferences in the order that we're doing them was I looked over at Colby in the office and I said, list off the conferences in order of best to worst. And so after the SEC, which of course we broke up just to break up, that was East is not better than West. Number 2 conference in all the land.
I mean, for a win total, the SEC
Pac-12,
does not
baby.
have 5 schools over 9 like the Pac-12 does.
Pac-12 is a jam-packed, and speaking of conference rankings, Ryan, just real quick, I love Pick Dundee's conference rankings. I also really enjoy Phil Steele's. Unfortunately, Colby just completely sandbagged me. Bought one physical copy, and he's keeping it at his house. Ryan,
This
he
is a
won't
great
bring it
pick.
into the studio.
Newsflash: it is
The Steele dossier has to be released.
It is
The people have to know.
You know what? It is currently in the studio. Hang on 1 second.
No,
Wow.
no, don't break the not possible.
Oh, Colby, you're gonna ruin the bit.
No,
All right, Colby's gonna be.
He can't handle the bit.
I mean, Athlon Sports is fine, but it's
The Steele dossier.
it's like crack to Mad Magazine. Phil Steele is the original.
See, I knew Colby never leaves without. I know the Phil Steele is on his persons at all times.
Oh wow!
Oh, this son of a bitch!
Wow, it's been sitting here the whole time.
All right. So first thoughts when you put it into your hands, Sean. It's much thicker.
hardy.
It's much thicker than last year, right?
Yes,
It
is. It's got like.
I gotta be
noticeable-
honest. I've gotten older every year of my life. My dick's never gotten bigger like that.
I do.
So shout out to Phil Steele for just stepping
And shout
it
out
up.
to Colby for finally pulling this out.
And
All
the
right.
FCS one's in the works.
Okay.
He brought
Really?
back the FCS one.
He's bringing it, but really,
Yeah.
Sam Herder's got to be pissed.
Yeah. You
little
got a
competition.
giant. You got a giant in there.
All right,
Shout
but-
out to Phil Steele.
But the point you were making about the Pac-12 having all of these,
Sorry, Ryan. I got to do a bunch of reading
Yeah.
on air.
the Pac-12 having all of these like 8.5 and 9.5s. That's great. The average is still lower than the SEC, but a lot of that has to do with the floor. Whereas the
also
SEC,
the non-con. SEC gets the 4 non-con games. Yeah.
But the key takeaway is if you just look at teams with win totals between 5.5 and 7.5, how much of the SEC do you think that is, Sean?
a lot.
5.5 wins between 5.5 and a 7.5, which is basically barely bowl eligible. How many teams fall outside that range in the SEC?
6.
5.
Okay.
Only 5 teams fall outside that range. 4 above, 1 below. In the Pac-12, you have,
The rich and the poor. Right?
yeah, you only have a couple teams inside that
But
range.
some of that is because you're playing non-conference games, and another thing is you have like teams that never play FCSs.
not 9 conference games, right? Isn't that what you're always going to point to?
Well,
Also
and no
a lot-
FCSs. USC's never played an FCS. Colorado barely ever does. There's a lot of schools.
A lot of 10 FBS type schedules, yada yada. Sean's over there
Stanford.
sipping his tea and
Stanford Cardinals.
reading the newspaper. The Stanford Cardinal, Sean, you're going to get us
you're right.
another fucking 3-star review.
Why would it
Obviously,
be
Nah,
singular?
they don't care that much.
Why would it be singular?
because it's the color.
It used
I
to
know,
be the
that's
it used to be
stupid.
the Redskins, I think,
and their mascot is still a tree. I think.
I like that. I
don't
like
think-
a tree
I don't.
mascot.
I don't think the tree has been canceled yet.
the Washington Redskins should have just went to they should have just randomly named a tree like a dogwood. The dogwoods. Yeah.
If
There
you
we
were
go.
a Cal, that'd be a great Cal Berkeley like prank. We were talking SEC like Auburn's poisoning trees and shit. Or imagine if you're a Cal Berkeley fan and you smoke the Stanford tree. Isn't that the ultimate?
Pretty sure that's already happened.
It's happened?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would imagine. I would imagine this probably happened a lot.
Three
if
and
I
a
had
half.
to guess.
3.5 is the win total. This is the second team we've spoken about with a win total under 4 this year. The first one being Vanderbilt. Plus 150 on the over here, though. Wow. Minus 190 to the under. 250 to 1 just to win the conference. Sean, of course, the Pac-12 abolished the North and South divisions.
Don't
of
believe
their-
in it.
of
Too
their-
problematic.
of their
Reminding people of
yesteryears.
slavery.
And 1,000 to 1 for the national championship, much like their 3.5 win total brethren of the SEC East, Vanderbilt, or maybe they might have been even 500 to 1. So yeah, this is the worst team we've talked about this year. They also happen to have a, I would say not an easy schedule.
Least production returning in the Power 5, 34% on offense, 36 on defense. everyone's bailing. They're getting killed by the portal. They can't compete in the portal because of admissions. They're not putting money into NIL in spite of having a ton of rich donors.
Yeah.
Where did John Elway go to school, Colby?
Yes. This is like
Andrew Luck, number one quarterback. Yeah. Andrew Luck, John Elway,
Jim Plunkett,
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, damn, they got a lot of fucking guys.
Tiger Woods, come on.
All those guys known for something off the field more than on the field.
Elway is steakhouse.
I mean,
I was just say his horse-like face.
Oh, that and
that's why the Broncos won. You know my theory on that. They're like Shannon Sharp looks like a horse. John Elway looks like a horse. You should play to your team's mascot.
I think the tall tales of him playing football and drinking rival each other.
Stanford,
he's a Mickey Mantle-esque character.
They do have a good tight end in Benjamin Urosic.
Oh, here we go. Zach Ertz.
I always
he's getting Zach Ertz love.
Stanford is a tight end factory.
It is, and a white running back factory.
A lot of nice tight ends in Stanford.
But guys, Troy Taylor comes over. This guy, Troy Taylor, he had an undefeated regular season with Sacramento State in the FCS last year. They did get a couple rounds into the playoffs and then got upset, but
keeps a good program.
I mean, the offense was high powered at Sacramento State, but it's year one, and Sac State's on the schedule, which is actually a tricky FCS opponent because they return a decent amount.
That'd be embarrassing.
Watch out.
And they also go to Hawaii for their first game.
And Hawaii has the advantage of playing a week 0 game.
We love taking the teams who already played a game in week 1.
Yeah, what is that trend? I feel like that's pretty favorable.
We'll have to dig it up, but I mean, you're going down to. Are they still playing at the junior high in Hawaii, or is everything
the Chang Complex Center? Yes.
Is it renovated or
no?
Not unrelated to their coach Chang.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Let's separate. This table can't be big enough right now.
What about now? What do you think the spread is week 1? Stanford at Hawaii.
I think Stanford. It depends on what Hawaii does in Nashville.
But there is a spread out now. What do you think it is, Colby?
Stanford -6, if I had to guess.
-10.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll take the points because you want to. The fact
Home
they get a
dog,
game in
Hawaii.
The fact they get a game in before that.
First game for a new coach.
Yeah,
that
first
helps.
game for a new coach. You gotta love that angle.
I mean, if you're a Stanford Cardinal fan, what are you excited about this season?
The
Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just say Troy Taylor year 1. The guy is a proven winner, but I don't think it's going to be this year. But just to see, they're shifting their whole philosophy. This guy does Stanford over the course of the past 2 decades has been kind of a power heavy team.
Yeah.
This is going to be
their schedule
airing
looks
it
brutal.
Out. Yeah,
too.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm all over the under.
He's
here.
from down.
Even quote unquote like easier teams like Colorado, you're still going at Colorado. Even Hawaii at Hawaii.
Well, and Notre Dame, they beat Notre Dame last year. One of their 3 wins last year for Stanford was when they upset Notre Dame in South Bend. So they're going to want revenge on that. And yeah, they get everybody. I mean,
at Corvallis.
Yeah, it's just not.
Oh,
I think the
let's
under
walk
is the
through
play.
this. Yeah. Let's walk through the schedule because it's brutal.
Hold on. I'm getting up to speed on Troy Taylor.
He played at Cal.
By the way, is 6'4" and ran a 4.7 40 at the combine. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, led his high school team to a perfect 14-0 record. He was Northern California Player of the Year, and then he went on to play at Cal.
This is
starting quarterback from 86 to 89.
This is like when Schembechler, Bo Schembechler, legendary Michigan coach, he's from Ohio State. Sometimes you got to go to the enemy to start winning. His
record stood until they were broken by Jared Goff, Sean. So a little tie into Jared to Mr. Goff's Suck Island. Yeah, I like everything Colby had to say. Unfortunately, Stanford does not give a fuck about making their schedule easier to get the team into a better position. And it's a first year with a new coach in a program that is not Auburn cheating their ass off to try to be good right away with mismanaged expectations. Stanford is just happy to have a program. At Hawaii, at USC, as you mentioned, Troy Taylor's previous head coaching stint, Sacramento State, the Hornets,
and they hired their DC and their DC's been with Taylor for a while. I'm telling you that's a dangerous game.
Want a
Like
hot take?
Sac State's probably got better talent.
Sacramento State has more fans in the stands for that game.
I could see that.
Could
I can
happen.
see that.
Remember,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the Sports Illustrated article where they talked about Christian McCaffrey could ride his bike home from a football game and no one noticed him because people don't give a shit about football in Stanford. It always resonated with me. Like, wow, that's pretty sad. Arizona and then Oregon, who is USC preseason 4, Oregon 15. Colby does not believe in preseason rankings, but I think he is somewhat aligned with the Oregon is a good team this year.
Yeah, well, and I think if you wanted to play Arizona, that's probably one of your more winnable Pac-12 games. And unfortunately, you get them in September. I think you'd win them in November if that was going to be the case.
I got them winning 2 games here.
Which
Yeah,
two?
I don't even know. I think there's a chance.
Hawaii and Sacramento State.
I think there's a chance.
But I
you
think
could
they
see
could-
1-11 or 0-12. I think them and Virginia are the 2 FBS schools that you have to watch out for potentially going winless. Because
I mean, Hawaii, they are a 10-point favorite, so I like them to get that win.
That's
straight
just
up.
a bad. No, I'm gonna bet that.
I might.
Yeah.
Oh,
It feels high though.
faraway places have 8.5. The southern regions.
Okay.
That which either way that still seems like a lot. The Stanford team, not to mention they lost some talent to the NFL. So
another thing is the overhauling the philosophy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I like you keep talking about philosophy, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean Arizona, I think is going to beat them. Oregon, obviously, going to destroy them.
all right. So then, I mean, I to me, one win, like if there is a chance they lose.
I'll
to
say 2 wins, but I think 1 win's possible.
So
before
coming
bye.
out the bye, you got at Colorado, which this becomes
nationally televised.
It's probably
too.
a big time game. Late spot.
It's a Friday night spot too.
Kind of like that 10 p.m. on the East Coast, making people stay up to watch some good old fashioned Pac-12
We
football.
coming.
UCLA is homecoming. Interesting strategy there. Calling Chip Kelly a bitch. Washington, the preseason number 12, and then they take to the road for at Washington State up in Pullman. At Oregon State, the Beavers. What a tough back-to-back spot there. 2 of the basically the 2 weird road trips in the conference.
Little Hornets nests.
Yeah,
right?
back to back. That's a real tough situation. Then you have Cal and of course Notre Dame. Boy,
2 and 10.
Yeah, play the under.
I mean, I think 2 and 10, and you got some wiggle room. It feels. How do they get to 4 wins?
I don't even see that. I think there's a chance they lose to Hawaii or Sac State too. Like I think those are close games.
I think Cal could be a random win just because of that angle where you go, going super hard again. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, how many games will they be favored? 2, right?
Yeah.
Hawaii and Sac State.
Yeah, maybe Arizona.
No.
So we're all in the under.
Yeah.
Colorado, which this may strike some people as surprising
We
because
coming.
Dion's there and he basically dominated FCS football in no time at all. But he heads to Colorado. His son is what are the Heisman odds there that you keep wanting to bet, Sean? Like
Shedeur Sanders.
150 to 1.
150 to 1.
Love it.
3.5.
All in.
3.5 on the win total. Plus 140 to the over. Minus 170 to
You're
the
getting
under.
plus
oh my
odds?
god. 150 to 1 to win the Pac-12, Sean. 400 to 1 to win the national championship. And
Natty.
we are talking all of the teams with the lower half of the win totals, and they are the only team that a college football playoff price was put on to take money from suckers like you, Sean.
Love this Colorado team.
I mean,
11
Power Fives though, and then your 12th game is Colorado State, which is a rivalry game.
Man,
Tricky.
Dude,
Fort Collins,
they brought
great town.
number 1 cornerback in the country from each of the past 2 recruiting classes in Hunter and McLean.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help a defense that was literally last in the country last year, 44.5 points per game.
But this is big boy football now.
And
It is.
I actually believe this number's way off. I think they don't know. I think it's a lot like Arizona State, where there's so many transfers.
Yeah.
It is unbelievably hard to get a gauge. But I can tell you this. The most important thing for me for Deion Sanders was bringing in the offensive defensive coordinator. He brings in Sean Lewis, who was a head coach at Kent State, he didn't need to leave. Kent State extended him. They had success against Georgia's defense last year.
Yeah.
That is the big thing. He plays incredibly fast. He was the OC at Syracuse when they won 10 games in Baber's second year.
Dino.
And he says he's going to play incredibly fast. And guess what they have to their advantage? The altitude.
Yes.
So his thing is he's going to be the fastest team in the country, And when you bring in athletes like that, I know the line of scrimmage is still an issue, but I just think they're going to be a lot better from an athletic standpoint.
Let's workshop this a little bit, because when you play fast, it can be an advantage, especially if you're at altitude, but it can also turn into a disadvantage if you're not good, especially on defense, because your defense gets tired. Sean knows all about this with Chip Kelly. Now, the other thing you need with speed is depth.
Well, they certainly have depth in the secondary. That's what's so interesting to me is like they went out and got a lot of great guys in the secondary that I feel very good about. And the Pac-12 passes so much.
They have a ton of talent. And again, you have 2 top cornerbacks like that are getting coached up by Deion Sanders.
Whoa.
To your,
that's a 1-star review. So someone's gonna leave a 1-star.
No, leave a 5-star review. Turn on auto downloads. Don't listen to Kramer. I just think Deion is a leader of men. And your point, Colby, the fact that he's a great coach to me is being shown in the assistants he's brought in, right?
Yeah.
Like he brings in good coordinators. I'm sure he's not going to be micromanaging. He seems to me like a big picture kind of guy who is going to motivate these guys, get their heads in the right space, not put up with any bullshit, and be able to talk to that younger generation. Like you see that all the time in a guy like a Nick Sirianni, or I'll even throw out Brian Dable of ability to hold the team to a higher standard while still being able to deal with millennials.
Look, I was happy for the hire because I knew Colorado was recruiting and I grew up a Colorado fan. But to me, the Sean Lewis hire was everything to me. Like that was like, oh, we're gonna be very legit on offense. It's a lot like Heupel at Tennessee. So I think when you add that and the athletes that he's brought in at the wide receiver and defensive back position, I get it. The offensive line, defensive line seem like projects, but I really believe that this team is just a lot better than a season ago, like a lot better. And that's why, despite that ridiculous schedule of 11 Power Fives and Colorado State, no FCS, I still think you got to hammer the over here.
So
I'm all in on the over. I mean, come on.
So you think it?
We coming.
You can completely start. Like, are there examples of other coaches who have come into a program, started basically completely fresh, and just fired off a winner right away?
I think you can't compare it to previous years because you didn't have the transfer.
Yeah,
portal.
You've never seen it like this.
You didn't have.
No, it's definitely
a
different.
whole new
but
fucking team.
We also know that football is a team game.
It is, but I think
a lot of those guys did come from Jackson State, though. There is some continuity.
So we got
there.
a bunch of FCS guys coming to the FBS.
But they were recruited.
The undefeated FCS
Travis
team?
Hunter turned down Georgia and Florida State to
Travis Hunter is the outlier.
No, there's a few of them. A few of them. Yeah,
we coming, Ryan. How would you?
You
not
keep
be
telling me how you're coming.
Take them. They're getting 20 points at TCU.
Dora said you have to know when you come, and this year they're coming.
That plus 20 points at TCU to start the season.
Come on.
Why is the market so wrong, Colby?
I think it's them and Arizona State are very similar. They don't know what to do.
No, but when you don't know, you usually split the difference between something and something. So if they don't know what to do with Colorado and they're putting them at 3.5, that means the floor is winless. Do you think this team could be so bad they don't win a game?
I mean, if like Shedeur Sanders got injured, they don't have great quarterback.
They don't have depth. Yeah, but that's what I was trying to say. Like when you play fast, you do need depth everywhere. Because fatigue.
But they got guys.
I mean, they were 1-11 last year, so winning 4 games is a pretty big improvement.
I think they could go. Like I know, I wouldn't be shocked if they went 5-6 games. I think they could go bowling.
You guys
10-2.
You guys seem very high.
I don't know about that, but I can see like 6-6, 5-7.
If you have the Heisman Trophy winner in Shedeur Sanders.
Then
the guy has
won
great.
A lot of games.
He's super athletic. His dad is Deion Sanders. His dad is the coach. That's how you win a Heisman Trophy.
At TCU,
you guys act like this is rocket science.
At TCU,
I mean,
was Deion Sanders good?
Look, I love this angle. He's from Fort Worth. You know, he lives in Fort Worth, Texas. His kids went to school, high school in that area. The Dallas
is a sleepy spot for the Horned Frogs.
Dude, I think it's a winnable game. TCU lost a shit ton. Yeah,
hangover game for TCU.
TCU played every game close last year. Even their bad opponents, they played with a 1-score game.
I will remind both of you that Deion was not making friends in the FCS with his antics. He's going to have a target on his back in every game. No one's going to be, there's no sleepy spots on their schedule. I'm not going to let you spew that nonsense. He was there were who was the coach that wouldn't shake his hand? Said you're not FCS.
Eddie Robinson Jr.
Yeah, and that's a guy that you respect, Colby, as a coach. What do you think some of these big time coaches are going to do with Dion?
I think Sonny Dykes is gonna. Well, first off, TCU passed on Dion. You know that they interviewed Dion and then they went to Sonny Dykes.
Yeah, they wanted a real football coach.
So you also have a little fuck you moment there. Yeah.
Uh-oh. So you got at TCU, you got Nebraska, Colorado State, at Oregon, the Ducks, USC, who again preseason in the top 5, at Arizona State. Would love to have that game at home, and Stanford. And you're looking at a schedule here where you have 4 home games, 3 of how many of the home games are winnable? Well, not USC probably.
Well, I mean, obviously we're going to take USC, but I'm still very curious because they pass the hell out of the ball. Guess what happens when you have money cornerbacks? You don't need to blitz. You can just play man. You know what I mean? It makes it a little interesting. Now USC, yes, obviously I'll take them to beat Colorado.
Okay.
But as far as Arizona State's the same as Colorado. They brought in like 40 transfers.
Arizona State, I think they have
it's
a
on
shot.
the road.
Stanford, I think they have a shot.
Absolutely.
No, Stanford and Arizona State are definitely.
I mean,
winnable.
Colorado State's going to be a hell of a game, but I think they have a chance.
Rocky
to win
Mountain Showdown, sure, they'll be favored in that. I think, and Nebraska's got a brand new coach too. They're bringing in there's brand new quarterback, brand new receivers, brand new everything. So it's like they're in the same boat as Colorado.
Week 2 in Elevation, we love playing home teams at Elevation early in the season.
Now, at Oregon and USC,
yeah, count
I'd
those
say
as
those
losses.
are losses for sure.
At TCU's game too. I think
that's gonna be a 1-score game.
Okay. I mean, it's a 20 point.
You got to go to youtube.com/sports gambling podcast because Colby goes, I think it's going to be a 1-score game, and then just turns his head and just stares down Kramer, almost like Old West Saloon. He's like, I'll meet you.
First off, look at like
who draws first.
TCU a year ago played like every game was a 1-score game, so it's like. They 20, lose Max Duggan.
20's crazy.
Yeah, they lose all these guys, and you want me to believe that they're just going to be.
They had like a Hypnotoad Mojo thing going, which you could see a little clunky start.
Yeah, Chandler Morris. Yeah.
Dion's throwing the kitchen sink at him.
Well, and it's Dion's like he's a.
I got him
Dallas.
I got him 6-1 through the first 7. They split with Oregon and USC.
No, I got him sitting there
6-1.
I got him sitting
maybe
there.
7-0.
I think they can win 4. I think they can win 4 before the bye week.
No, all jokes aside, at least 3 wins before the bye.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll say 2. At UCLA,
even a hater Kramer.
That's a winnable game.
Oregon
this
State.
is a game UCLA.
Yeah, that is a very winnable game because
this is a game they fuck up.
There'll probably be more Colorado fans there than fucking UCLA fans.
Did we go to a UCLA Colorado?
No, you went
game?
to Arizona one.
I feel like I was at a Colorado when I saw big ass fucking. I remember thinking like, wow, it's odd that Colorado has such a sick tailgate right next to the Rose Bowl. Classic UCLA.
I also recall when we went to the Arizona game, seeing a guy walk in with a charcuterie board, and I said, "Don't let Colby know this." Or literally the wine and cheese grab.
Did he have a saxophone with him?
Oh, beautiful!
Some white wine pairs perfectly with football.
Oregon, it's like a
Zin.
Yeah,
Zin?
I mean, it's like, are you at a football game or a Dave Matthews?
Well, I'll tell you this: if UCLA starts their freshman quarterback, I think it's a winnable game for Colorado. Now, if not,
no, UCLA is. Great program,
crazy.
super talented. Chip Kelly knows what he's doing.
I mean, they lost to Arizona at home last year, and I feel like Colorado's going to be a lot like Arizona.
But they have moments.
Yeah.
Even last year was probably the best year at UCLA for Chip Kelly. They had moments where they kind of laid an egg, and then
Arizona,
still figuring out how to. They obviously have to figure out how to turn the corner past DTR because he led the. I mean, he just
Charbonnet's going too, man.
Yeah,
but
so they have some questions, but I still like UCLA this year.
Yeah, let's take UCLA. To win that,
Carson Steele, huge pickup for them.
Colby was a big fan of the Charbonnet at the Rose Bowl. Then you got homecoming, aka Oregon State, the Beavers.
I'm bullish on Oregon State.
That's an arrogant selection right there.
Yeah.
DJ, I mean, Big Cinco out west, change of scenery. Feel like an old Western.
You like that? I was trying to wrap my head around it. I did not like Big Cinco. Period. On Clemson.
I'm very much.
I like Oregon State as a team. I liked Luke Musgrave.
We'll get to their schedule in the future. I think they have a lot of their schedule becomes
They also have a freshman that like everyone's talking about, Aiden Childs. So keep an eye out on him. He might start over DJU. I'm bullish on Oregon State this year. I think they're going to be pretty damn good. So I'll take the Beavs to get that done.
And then you got Arizona at
That's
Washington,
a winnable game.
at Washington State, at Utah to end it out. Back-to-back tough road spots. I mean, Washington State's always a tough spot there, especially with Utah on deck. There's a couple winnable games there.
Yeah.
I'm less likely to be as generous with the wins this time. I feel like
I think they're going to go 5-7 or 6-6.
See, I think I'm at a point where I think that I could see them going 4-8, but I'm much more likely to see them go. I think there's a lot of versions of this schedule where they come out of the box, they lose, they go 0-2, and then they lose to Colorado State, and things get dicey. Because again, have we seen Dion have to deal with some adversity yet?
I mean, he lost the Celebration Bowls 2 years in a row.
That didn't seem to matter.
Okay.
I mean, did it?
I mean, that's adversity, right?
I guess it's the end of the season, though. Well, mid-season adversity.
It's the Black College Football National Championship.
Sure, but that's the end of the season.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
You're right. That's adversity.
Yeah.
I'm saying mid-season adversity. They struggle a little out of the gate. I think I'd much rather fade them than bet on them.
Colorado?
Yeah.
Oh, you're crazy. I think this team's too talented, man.
You're not worried about every team wanting to make a statement.
I mean, I think they'll be that, but I also believe that like the talent level of the actual roster is so much better than it was a year ago.
It's a super team.
I don't know about that, but I'm saying
super teams work all the time.
They can beat a lot of those teams on like the Washington State game, the Arizona game, Stanford, Arizona State, Colorado State, Nebraska, all winnable games to me.
I'll join the market and take the under.
Joe Q Public.
Yeah,
we coming, Ryan.
Yeah,
you have to lay minus 170
don't be shocked
to take
when they
the
beat
under.
TCU week 1, buddy.
Oh, you want to talk about laying a big minus price?
Well, I mean, Deion Sanders, he's friends with Ralphie now. Nobody circles the Buffaloes like the Colorado Buffaloes.
It's not natural. Yeah, I mean, I want Deion to be successful.
Do you?
But college football programs don't happen overnight.
They do in the NIL and transfer portal era.
Yeah.
Where? What's the example?
What do you mean?
This just started.
Arizona State is another one that you're going to be watching nonstop because they just loaded up a roster.
Sean, football is a team sport. You know that. You can't just slap a bunch of fucking prospects together and call them a team.
In college, you can.
It's not how it works. You can at the FCS level. A little different at the big boy level. I thought you knew that. Arizona 4.5, minus 140 on the over, and plus 120 to the under. Arizona is 100-1 to win the conference, 500-1 to win the national championship.
Good season from Jaden DeLora last year.
He was fun.
They got rated in the portal.
25 touchdowns. He put on 25 pounds. They got McMillan, the receiver, 8 touchdowns as a freshman.
You're getting it at 4.5, huh?
Yeah, this was
when I did the preview. It was at 5.
Interesting. So it's on its way down.
Okay, and I was on the under on that episode.
Oh,
but
can we have our first Benedict live on the air?
No, I still think it's more likely they go 4-8 than 5-7.
Their defense is worrisome. They lost their 5 leading tacklers from last year, a year where they were giving up 36.5 points per game. So maybe it's addition by subtraction here.
I would also say the Pac-12 got a lot better.
Yeah, Pac-12 got better, although it does seem like people are more interested in Arizona football.
Sure.
They sold 15,000 tickets for the spring game.
He's recruiting a lot better, but at the same time, like Arizona State was giving out the playbook for fucking Herm Edwards last week or last year. You know what I mean? Like, so that alone, and then Dion at Colorado, those 2 gimmies that you had a year ago, you're not going to have. I like the under. I think they got rated in the portal. I think it's right on that number, 4.5. I when I did the preview, I said 4 or 5, and it was on flat 5. But I think if I had to pick one, I would say give me the under.
Yeah. I mean, Jed Fish, to his credit, 1-11 in 2021, jump up to 5-7 last year. Why would we not expect not necessarily a 4-win jump, but to get to 6 to maintain the 5?
Their schedule's brutal.
Well, I just hit on that though.
Yeah,
like
portal.
Colorado and Arizona State were gimmies last year because they had kind of given up. And those are not gimmies this year, and they're both on the road at Colorado and at Arizona State.
Yeah.
It's like not friendly scheduling. One of your non-conference is a SEC school, and
And Northern Arizona beat them the last time they played them.
Yeah, you're getting the Lumberjacks. Come on, everyone, beautiful up there.
Jed Fish is 0-1 against the Lumberjacks.
It's
Revenge spot.
coming to Southern Arizona to do some business. I mean, you want to walk through the schedule?
Let's do it.
Northern Arizona, as we said, coming to town week 1 at Mississippi State. Week 2, we'll be out in Vegas for this one. Sean, prepare to unload a payload. I don't know who we're betting on yet. UTEP, the Miners, week 3 at Stanford. Washington, the top 12 or number 12 preseason at USC, at Washington State, back-to-back road spot there.
I mean,
Maybe they
Washington
could steal the Wazoo game.
Washington at home, at USC, at Pullman.
Where are the wins?
That's a
UTEP
tough
in Northern
spot.
Arizona.
Yeah, those are ones they will be favored in.
You know what?
And potentially Stanford.
Their schedule's tough because the games that you would say like they're going to be better than this team or they could be better than this team, a lot of them exist on the road.
But
Yeah.
Stanford's winnable game.
Yes, I would actually say that's probably the one.
3
they're gonna
winnable
win.
games?
I think you got, if they were 3,
3 winnable games.
yeah, I think.
No, I mean there's more on the schedule. Like they
No,
could
I mean
be
going up to the
oh,
bye week.
Okay,
Going up to the bye week, I think 3 wins.
Winnable games.
Yeah.
Oregon State coming off the bye. Then you got UCLA, another
They beat them last year, but
homecoming spot.
Yeah,
Why is UCLA homecoming so many times for this? At Colorado.
that's one that's winnable. But once again, it is November 11th.
like
it's going to
the
be
spot for
cold.
Colorado.
That's
Yeah.
actually funny if UCLA started hosting other teams' homecomings at the Rose Bowl as a nice gesture as the Pac-12 wraps up as a contract. And then at Colorado, and then you have Utah at home at Arizona State, little rivalry spot on the road.
See, I feel like I'm being optimistic, and I'm only getting a 4.
Yeah.
What are the winnable games down here?
Colorado and Arizona State?
Yeah,
I know they could say they beat UCLA last year, but also
No, UCLA will be extra
but
focused.
I think at Colorado and at Arizona, they don't win 2; they only win 1.
So
especially because
and then 1 plus the 3 before the bye, and that's optimistic. I'm only getting a 4.
and they traditionally get Colorado in like September. That November 11th is gonna be cold as fuck.
Yeah,
So they get
and you're getting plus odds on under 4.5.
the teams that they play on the road are the worst teams they could possibly get on the road: Arizona State, Colorado, and Stanford. Outside of them, those are the 3.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 lowest win totals. So getting them all on the road
Yeah.
is a massive disadvantage. I don't see how you can go any other direction but under. It's giving me a slight. I put in pencil a note. Maybe you should go over on Colorado. So we'll revisit that later in the show. All unders for me so far, Sean.
All under for us here on Arizona. You know what I'm over on? The number of entries I've already put into Best Ball Mania 4 over at UnderdogFantasy.com. $14 million up for grabs. You draft a fantasy team, you might be a millionaire. What more fun can you ask for? This is America. And if you go to UnderdogFantasy.com, you can use promo code SGPN, 100% deposit bonus up to $100. They also have Pick'em, great for NFL season-long props over unders. They have a ton of NFL player props on their slate there. They also got daily MLB player props as well. College football player props right around the corner. So many ways to win over at UnderdogFantasy.com. Check out Kramer and I. We do a number of the Best Ball Mania drafts. Super fun. Great action. UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
All right, continuing along, the beautiful. This is where we need to hire Mr. Walton to do some work for us. Just do a little narration. What would it be like to ride your bike
Right up the I-40
through the Pac-12? Let me know. Arizona State 4.5 as well, just like with their intrastate rival Arizona. Minus 160.
Approaching the metropolis of Tempe, Arizona, as the cactuses fade away into the desert landscape, the sun kissing the red mountains as your brain dissolves due to LSD.
Has anyone ever done that version, but like the college campus version, where he's just describing like the woman body parts of a woman? 160 minus 160.
Voluptuous breasts.
The cavernous love tunnel of her. Minus 160 on the over. Arizona State plus 130 to the under. 85-1 is their Pac-12 price. National championship is 300-1. As I mentioned, no teams outside of Colorado were given the privilege of having to make the college football playoff odds because they're saving. They understand Pac-12 gamblers are smart. They're not going to buy a bad bet. But Colorado, that's a different story. So Arizona State, you mentioned how it's similar to Colorado. Why do you think they're being given so much more respect?
About as much, but I mean,
Arizona why are they getting more respect?
Well,
than the
because
odds?
the roster that they had last year, Arizona State always has talent. All right, like they always got guys. Even last year's team that was terrible because they quit on them, they still got guys. You know what I mean? Where Colorado's team, they didn't academically. They also struggled. Colorado couldn't have guys in there.
Yeah.
Before Dion changed all that, so Dion came with a little more. The cover's a little more empty.
Changing everything.
We come.
Yeah,
right.
but Arizona State is very similar. I think they have like 40 transfers. So it's really hard to project what's going to happen here. I'll say this from a schedule standpoint, they only have 4 away games, which normally with that I'm like, oh, let me take the over. But then you jump into it and you're like, man, the schedule they have 10 Power 5s and Fresno State, which is basically as good as a Power 5 as your other game, and then you have Southern Utah. So that would be the one win.
Yeah. How do they have 8 home games, Colby? How does that work out?
Sometimes it's just in the Pac-12 when you have 9, you get 1 year you get 4, the next year you get 5.
Okay.
And then they had a home and home with Oklahoma State. They played in Stillwater last year, so they're coming to Tempe this year. So sometimes it's just the way that everything shakes out. And then Fresno and Southern Utah are games you paid for them to come.
Last time they had 8 home games, they won 10 games, or the last couple times.
Yeah,
and obviously different.
They also
teams.
didn't have a brand new coach and 43 new transfers or whatever. So that's what I mean. Their
offensive line looks pretty thin.
They're incredibly hard to project.
They lost the Pac-12 leading running back Xavier Valade. Good receivers. But what do we make of Drew Pine coming in? 8-2 at Notre Dame.
Another
Again, if you're leaving Notre Dame as a quarterback, not a great sign for me.
But Dillingham had success. Remember, Bo Nix was terrible at Auburn and looked great. He was the OC.
43 new players.
That's what I'm saying, man. You have a shit ton of new players.
But why are people betting on them before they're betting on Colorado?
Because their schedule's easier. Colorado has a lot more
schedule?
road games. Colorado has 6 road games. Arizona State has 4. Another thing is you could make a case. Arizona State has an FCS. Colorado doesn't.
No, that's the win right there. Then, but you're seeing the juice. You're seeing the fact that people want to bet Colorado down. They want to bet Arizona State up.
I actually, I already previewed Arizona State. I went with the under just because of the roster turnover. They don't draw Stanford.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about the schedule. Sean, you got anything else before we jump into the schedule? You just checking out those Arizona State babes.
I mean, good talent there. The amazing Sun Devils, truly queens of the desert.
Mountains sun-kissed by the.
No, I'm with Colby. I think it's just crazy amount of change, similar to Colorado. I think the fact that you have 8 home games, you can get to 5 wins probably, but we'll walk through the schedule.
All right, so we got of course, all of our favorites, the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah. Next up, we got Oklahoma State at home.
That's a loss.
Like you said, a Big 12 opponent, probably a loss. Fresno State.
Fresno's tough, but especially at Fresno.
Yeah, but still.
No, this is home.
Yeah, but
no. I'm saying like they're
in
much
the valley.
Tougher.
Yeah.
The fact that you're playing them at home, you like their chances better here.
But let's be honest here. If you're going to get a brand new roster, like this is a brand new roster, just like Colorado.
It's a great way to start.
And no, it's not.
No, Southern Utah.
Oh yes, that.
But then they're going to get just wrecked.
But then
by
Oklahoma State,
Fresno State won the Mountain West last year. This is a really good team.
It also seems like Fox is dead set on sticking them at the late window every night. So staying up late to watch Arizona State football.
Yeah, I don't think I mean Oklahoma State I think is better than them right now. And
Fresno State, USC, these are all home games for what it's worth. At Colorado. So they only leave the state of Arizona once.
Yeah.
You go to the filthy campus of.
But
Cal.
once again, like I think if you're Cal, you want to play Arizona State the first month, and you got it. And you got it after USC, and so I think they're going to lose that
fifth game.
Cal,
so how many wins
went with a youth movement.
What's the winnable games?
Colorado and Southern Utah. I mean, Cal's winnable. Fresno State's even fucking winnable, but
Yeah, I think they'll. I got them.
I don't think they're going to. Yeah,
maybe they can't get to 5. I got 2 though.
All right, so coming off the bye, it's at Washington.
now it's over.
Yeah,
Washington State, at
All right.
Utah, at UCLA.
That's unbelievably brutal.
Oregon,
look at that
Arizona.
5-game stretch.
No, I don't know. Like the 8 home games was talking me into it, but when you actually look at the home games,
They can beat Washington.
I'm
State.
under ASU under.
Yeah, I'm on the under.
They can beat Arizona. What do they got to get?
That would
5?
be 4.
5.
Yeah.
And you're getting plus 130.
They'd have to surprise us with a win, right?
But they also have to beat all the teams that they should beat. And
So basically, if we take the under here and they don't, what do they need to win in the first half of the schedule for it to have a chance? 3.
yeah, they got to win 3 of those.
So if they're not 3-3 at the bye, you can cash that ticket.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I'm with you. I mean, my logic, I'd be a hypocrite if I took anything other than the under here. It's the same argument as Colorado. I just think
I thought Colorado brought in better talent.
I need to see a team throw together a transfer portal unit and actually have success in a Power 5 conference first. Then I'll believe it can happen. And that being said, I also don't know if I'm, it would. I think Urban Meyer might be the one guy who maybe could get it done. As crazy as that is,
Texas
You're
A&M's
coming,
next
Ryan.
next head coach.
next head coach. Yeah. All right. So we're all on the under. Lots of lock potential here.
4 unders in a row for Ryan.
Yes.
Go under on the bad teams. Go over on the good teams.
Isn't that how you're supposed to do it? Sean, these,
Come on, you need one. You need like one team like Colorado, like Colby and I have. Come on.
I was gonna say you also have 3 unders.
Yeah, but I have one over.
It's not like you're pandering to the Arizona fans any more than I am. California, aka the Cal Bears. Which, by the way, did you know UCLA? A Bruin is also a bear. So when Cal plays UCLA, it's bear on bear violence, which we love here. Stay tuned for more news on a deeper look into the wild with Colby and Sean, or sorry, Colby and Ryan. 5.5 plus 120 on the over, minus 150 on the under, 75 to 1 to win the conference, 300 to 1 to win the national championship. So you gotta have to talk me in. You gotta talk to me about Cal, Colby, because
I mean,
Talk to me about Sam Jackson coming over from TCU. They're saying he's one of the fastest players on the team.
and they deserve to burn in hell, right?
wow.
Too many of these bears on this motherfucking plane.
Ooh, Bears on a plane. Would be a good
No, I think
movie.
the big thing is they get Jake Spavital,
Yes.
the offensive coordinator.
Johnny Manziel, Kyler Murray, Geno
Yeah.
Smith. Don't think of the NFL. Think of them in the college world because they dominated. He's coming in. He's going to coach up Sam Jackson. Colby, when you're doing your college DFS, I think Sam Jackson could be a really
Interesting
appealing player to put in there.
I agree, and Justin Wilcox, the head coach here, he's a Oregon grad. He had a chance to go to Oregon as the head coach a year ago, passed on it to stay at Cal because
bad move.
yeah, that might be a bad move.
That's
But
a bad move.
but I can tell you this: he went with the youth movement last year. He played a bunch of youngsters, and I think despite their schedule, which by the way, they're the only Pac-12 school that plays all of those teams in the win total over 8.5. Every single one of them is on the schedule. But I think they're still winnable. The schedule's brutal. The schedule's absolutely brutal because you play you get Auburn in the non-con. You also play at North Texas for some strange reason, and then Idaho's a top 10 FCS school. So that's pretty brutal. But I still think this team is better than people realize.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think one of their weaknesses last year was the offensive line, allowed a bunch of sacks, 31 to be exact. And you plug in a mobile quarterback like Sam Jackson. It's great.
And Spavital's got air raid tendencies, so
Yep.
getting the ball out hot,
quick passes. And they were close last year. They lost 5 games by 7 points or fewer. Slight outlier on their points per game on the defensive side, up to 27.8. It just seems like this team,
Their defensive line is loaded.
yeah. I think they can rush the passer. I think they can get out of sacks. I like the over 5.5.
I do too. but Wilcox plays like a shit ton of close games. That's been his forte all.
Former DC, got a hell of a neck.
He was Boise State's DC when they had that great run.
Looks like he could have been a fullback. If we're being honest.
Yeah,
and we need some sort of like CW show about all the mixed relationships here. He played at Oregon, coaches at Cal.
Yeah, and
it's all over the place with these guys.
They will beat probably two teams down here that we won't see coming. Essentially, they'll be dogs. Like they've had great success against the Washington Huskies over the past, like in his.
All right, so you're starting to talk me into it. I'm going to need to walk through the schedule to get all the way over.
Well, this is not going to be a lock by any means because that schedule's brutal.
All right, so let's.
I mean,
why would you start on the road?
That's what I'm saying. The only thing that helps them is North Texas breaking in a brand new head coach, but North Texas played for the CUSA championship.
It's like my Hokies going on the road all the time to play dumbass.
I'm taking Cal. This is going to be like a field goal game probably. I'm taking Cal though.
At North Texas. Then you got Auburn, an SEC squad coming to town.
I think they could beat Auburn.
At
least you're getting them this early. If it was in November or October, I think I would probably be more likely to take Auburn. It's a 50-50 game, but I think they can do it. And the stats back me up on the SEC schools coming to the West Coast. That's a 10:30 kick on the East.
That's helpful. And then you have Idaho, which
they're good.
FC. Shout out FCS. Shout out to Moscow. I believe that's
the good Moscow.
The good, sorry, Moscow, Idaho.
Fucking Tommy. Are you gonna start promoting the Wagner Group, Kramer?
No, Moscow, Idaho. Yeah. We were all there. We enjoyed some good times there.
Big fan of Sputnik.
That's where we first had. That's where the first 6 hours of the John Elway Tom Brady debate happened at Washington. Then you have Arizona State, Oregon State, at Utah going into the bye week.
That's a brutal fucking schedule.
You have.
It is for most teams. I got them winning 4 games.
No, I think
Arizona State, Idaho, Auburn, and North Texas.
I'll even say,
and maybe
they might even be able to
not
get
even
like
those
Oregon
4.
State or
they might, and even Oregon State.
Washington,
at home?
they play Washington really well. Like they're always close games. I feel like
4.
So who knows? But they also could lose to Idaho. You know what I mean? Like it's. This is one I already did this with CJ Sullivan. Did this preview?
Oh yeah.
I went over, but I was not super confident. But I like this team. I think this team's going to be a tough out for every team. And like when USC plays them, when Oregon plays them, they better watch out because this team's they're tough defensively. They're kind of like a team that you don't normally see in the Pac-12. They're like a run first, hard hitting defensive team.
It's almost like their coach has a gigantic neck. You got to like if a coach, if there was going to be a coach in college football that came out with a neck roll and it wasn't Coach O, it'd be Justin Wilcox out in Cal. And that would imagine how much people in the Bay Area would be freaked out if he just had a suit with a neck roll. Wait, has anyone done that before?
I'm trying to find Sam Jackson Heisman Trophy odds. He's off the board.
They're not going to take a guy on the West Coast. They don't do that unless it's USC.
If I was Sam Jackson, I would have a wallet that said "bad motherfucker" on it. That would be the all-time, and it would really make an older gentleman like myself appreciate his humor. Yeah. All right. So we've got 4 winnable games coming into the bye. Out of the bye, USC at Oregon, Washington State at home, Stanford on the road at UCLA to close it all out.
I mean, I think the final 3 games are all winnable.
They can win. They'll win 2 of these. They will.
Why are you guys
Washington
being so
State
optimistic?
at home.
What is it about this coach you like so much?
No, they just to me started a lot of young players last year.
I do like that. That
like,
battle tested.
Yeah,
right?
and to me, they lost those close games. I think growing up, and I also think they're better at the quarterback. They're better at offensive coordinator. So I just think, give me the over. I think 6-6.
I certainly think the schedule provides them opportunity. They have some nice home games. To your point,
Brian, 5th under. Do it.
No,
do it. Do it. Do it.
No, I don't. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Come on,
4,
Cal under 5. Let me write it down.
6.
Cal under 5.5.
No, over.
All right.
Washington State 6.5 plus 120 to the
Simon
over,
Ryan's
minus
head.
140 to the under, 40 to 1 to win the conference, 400 to 1 to win the national championship. I mean, beautiful part of the country. Love their embracing of medicinal marijuana. Bigfoot.
It's smoking my weed.
Cameron Ward, quarterback for Wazoo, there first returning starter since 2017. I
He's
think
good.
we were kind of high on him last year. Pretty good season, not great, but they had a lot going on.
They are replacing the OC in DC, which is a little concerning to me. But the OC is Arbuckle coming in, and he's gonna run the same exact offense as a year ago. It's the DC that's interesting, but Jake Dickert, their head coach, that's his background, so maybe
it
they'll
doesn't
be
matter.
fine. Yeah, but I can tell you this, like, this schedule is pretty tough. I mean, they beat Wisconsin a year ago in Madison. Wisconsin's going to the air raid though, and that is the first time. This is a ridiculous stat. This is the first time that a Power 5 is playing in Pullman, non-con, since 1998. That shows they don't want to play in Pullman because you normally fucking lose in Pullman.
Why is Wisconsin playing?
Because they agreed for a home and home. Like,
Good on them.
yeah, good on them. I agree.
Good on them.
Yeah.
I think they backed out of one with the Hokies. Cowards. Yeah. So I mean, I'm with Colby. I think when you walk through the schedule, it's a little tougher than some of these other teams we've covered so far. And considering their win total is a win more than even Cal, you might get your wish, Sean. You might get 5 out of 6 for unders for me.
I think 6-6 again. I think they could be 7-5. The number's probably spot on, but I think 6-6 because I think the floor is a little up. They do get Stanford, which is good, but playing at Colorado State randomly against Jay Norvell to open the season.
It's a tough spot. I mean, that's
especially because they run the air raid. They run the same offense that you run, so they practice against it every day. So and they are at crazy altitude. It's just a tricky game.
I thought I saw a typo here, but it's actually Canvas Stadium in Fort Collins, not Canvas Stadium.
Shout out to Colorado State.
Colby loves the Canva marketing. So if you're noticing all the great graphics coming out of our social media,
All right,
it's all Colby.
In general, I would say Washington State gets bonus points for their weird spot in the Pac-12 angle, but they also catch like tough schedule, lot of road games all clumped together, early bye week, a lot of things you don't want. You're a team kind of right in the middle.
6-6.
Yeah, I mean they do feel
They get to a bowl game. They're a solid team. They'll probably upset somebody because they're just talented enough.
Well, they'll upset someone at home.
Yeah.
That's the way.
Watch. They'll get like
they'll beat Wisconsin.
Yeah. Or
I mean, 7 wins in the Pac-12 this year. You have to be a really, and we'll get to it when we get to the top teams, but you have to be really pretty good. I don't know. To your point, like the coordinator thing. I think Cam Ward can make a jump, but I don't know if
he's not even
team.
listed on the Heisman odds for DK.
like I told you, the
hate is strong.
There's been a West Coast bias forever against that. They're not even gonna. They don't even know Washington State exists.
Do you think they know who Cam Ward is?
No, they didn't know who Drew Bledsoe was until he was the first pick of the draft.
It's odd that you would know. I mean, he knows a thing or two about one. It's odd that you wouldn't have a guy that runs around like Cam. I mean, it just seems like he had FCS success. Like he has won awards before, isn't that?
Which is another reason he won the same award as Shedeur Sanders, which is why I think you should be.
Oh,
he didn't miss a beat when Cam Ward came to the Pac-12. So maybe you take that Colorado over. Huh?
I think Shedeur Sanders Heisman Trophy.
Oh,
150 to 1.
Oh.
Well, actually, you can find 200 to 1, right? Yeah, but he's listed. Sanders, Cam Ward is not. Looked at FanDuel as well.
Tough times.
Let's go through the schedule. Washington State opens at Colorado State in Fort Collins. Interesting spot there. Then they have Wisconsin at home. Wisconsin is coming into a season where they'll start in the top 25. Then you have Northern Colorado, another awesome Bear school, and then Oregon State, the Beavers, and then that early bye week, September 30th. Which I don't.
I think they could get off to a pretty good start here. Obviously, the 3 home games out of 4. I think the Colorado State game will be a little tougher than you would imagine, but I do like Colorado State in the points. I think they're getting something crazy like 16.
Yeah, I like Colorado
points.
State in the points too.
So I definitely like them in the points.
Dude, Wisconsin and Oregon State can beat them. Like Wisconsin is another team that's like fascinating to watch. They're like at the same vein as Colorado.
But them on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's a tricky spot. I mean, I'm intrigued. I don't know. Like Wisconsin going to the air raid is fucking
variance.
weird.
Yeah.
But if anyone's going to know the air raid, it's going to be Washington State. They've been running it for fucking 15 years, I feel like, or 12 years. I don't know. I just feel like that's a crazy game. And same with Oregon State. I probably favor Oregon State because their physicality, but
I'm in on Oregon State this year. I think it's probably irrational.
I'll say 2 wins, maybe 3. I don't know. Yeah,
I'm gonna go 2-2, but maybe 3. You're right. Pullman is Pullman. You know, like I don't know.
It is a tough place to play. 3 home games and a bye.
And I think so I don't know. I would say that the winnable games you can probably say is all 4. But
yeah, they're gonna mess up at least
they're
one.
probably gonna drop this one of these, if not 2. Coming out the bye, UCLA
winnable.
At UCLA, Arizona, at Oregon.
That's not winnable.
At Arizona State,
but that's
Stanford at Cal, Colorado at Washington. There are a couple games in here that are winnable.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You do if you're a Wazoo fan, you're saying, hey, we get Arizona, Arizona State, Stanford, and Colorado. Those are the 4 worst teams
and
on the schedule here.
Yeah, and Apple Cup, you're always going to be in that game.
Apple Cup at Husky Stadium.
This is a tough.
You're
one.
always going to be in that.
Wow. Sailgater, not a sailgater. You're anti-sailgating.
See, I keep coming back to 6. 6 feels like the perfect spot for them.
I'm on the under 6-6.
Yeah. This is not going in any sort of locks.
No. This is one of those where you say like I could, 6 and 6, 7 and 5. That's the median distribution.
So for the part 1 episode, how many locks do we give out?
That's up to you, Sean. You're the lock master.
I feel like we've been giving out 2 locks an episode. I just went back. Combined, we gave out 6 locks last year. Went 5-1 on our locks.
6 locks in the Pac-12.
Yes.
No.
Total. We did 6 locks last year. We went 5-1.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Two total.
Yeah. Two on each episode.
Okay.
That's
Colby
fine.
wants to do 2 per.
Okay, so we're upping it to 12 Pac-12 locks. I like
It's
that.
the Pac-12. Why wouldn't you have 12 locks?
That makes totally sense. All right, Kramer,
That makes more sense than having 16 teams.
what are you doing?
Hey, you want to do 16 locks for the Pac-12?
Yeah.
I think if you look at the board, it's pretty clear which teams we agree on, and I think the obvious one to me is you got to put the Stanford under in there.
Okay.
And I'll
negative.
and I'll take a Cal over because Colby got me excited about this team. Although probably the smarter move is to take one of the Arizona unders. Go ahead.
For me, we coming. Colorado Buffaloes over 3.5.
Oh no.
Love it.
It's plus 140, Sean. That's nice.
Yeah, no, again, I love
You're
getting
sharp.
out. Well, Colby and I are locked last year, plus 135 over Washington State.
And look, I locked up Colorado on the under last year in our win totals locks.
Yes, also hit that.
So
Good for you.
Honest fan here.
I hit over UCLA, 8 wins. That was pretty sweet.
Interesting. I was
All
also
For my second lock. Oh man. Yeah, Arizona State. See, some of these teams, Cal over 5.5. To me,
I stayed away from the variance. I'm playing the teams that you know.
the
what you're getting.
Arizonas and Wazoo, it could be a real shit show. Colorado, I know is going to be awesome in the mix there for college football playoff at 200-1. Colby, what do you got?
I'm gonna lock up the Buffs over 3.5.
Jesus
Let's
Christ.
go.
And I'm also gonna lock up Stanford under 3.5.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. We did a weird 3-way holding hands lock thing. The overlap.
We all
is-
share one
yeah.
lock.
It's one of those.
How cute.
It's one of those beautiful symmetrical Venn diagrams.
Hey, more college football previews coming up. Subscribe, auto download Army. Let's fucking go. Toss us a nice rating review over on Apple Podcasts if you want a chance to win a free sweet SGPN merch card. Get some of those campus tour t-shirts, the college football experience shirts. Have some sweet colors in there. Get you covered for a bunch of schools. Store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Check that out.
Do you have your Colorado one yet?
Participating in the sports gambling
We
podcast.
coming? Do we have a we coming?
I don't think we
Buffs
do.
one?
I don't think we
Breaking
do.
news. We need it.
Alter the Colorado one to we coming right now.
All right. As always, make sure you that subscribe button
Thank you for participating in the sports gambling podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green, and he is Ryan.
I can't wait to use the eggplant emoji so much with Colorado this season.
Kramer. Let it ride.